What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to this video and it's called The Boys, How Fast is A-Train Season 5 Edition. So the character A-Train, he was like a jackass in the beginning. Like I did not fuck with A-Train at all, but he really truly went out like a G towards the end of the episode of Season 5. Like the premiere was, dude, they started off strong, but this season has been a bit weird. Like the writing has been very odd to me in certain moments of like certain episodes, but A-Train's arc felt like a fully fleshed out great redemption arc for him. And like he was like the best part of the season, if I'm being honest. Like that chase with him and Homelander was incredible. How he saved everyone at the Freedom Camp, even though he knew Homelander was going to be there waiting for him. A-Train took the risk, and like he went out like a G, calling Homelander a sniveling fucking loser. And yeah, A-Train, he had like one of the best arcs in TV history, if I'm being honest. Yeah, he got like a huge upscale in his speed. Like I don't remember bro being that fast, like on level X-Men Quicksilver. A-Train's speed felt like at least faster than Dash from the Incredibles, but like way slower than like, well, yeah, Flash and X-Men Quicksilver. But now I would say he's probably relative to X-Men Quicksilver. Like this dude managed to statue everyone around him, and he was able to assess the entire situation. And then afterwards, he ran away from Homelander, and Homelander was on his tail. But my headcanon is that A-Train was purposely luring Homelander away from the Freedom Camp so that the boys can escape. And the only reason A-Train died was because of the woman in the middle of the road. He decided to move out the way, completely dodge the woman so that he doesn't run through another person, because he learned from what he did back on episode 1 with Huey's girlfriend, Robin. So yeah, dude, he was like, A-Train, he was definitely the most heroic character, most consistent, great redemption arc. Like I loved A-Train's character, and every time he ran too, that iconic train sound was so fucking peak. Like whoever designed that needs a raise. Let's get into this reaction. If you haven't already, make sure to follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. They're on the description below. I'm gonna put the link to this video in the description below, because you know you gotta give credit to the other creators. So yeah, let's get into this reaction.
So The Boys is finally coming to a close, and I think it goes without saying, but this season has been straight ass so far.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm sure some people out there like how the show's been doing in its 5th and final season, but for a lot of us who've been watching since the first season dropped back in 2019, this show kind of feels like it's been hit with a huge downgrade. I mean, we got Kimiko, the formerly silent and badass Soup with a tragic backstory, who now talks but constantly makes weird sex jokes. Soldier Boy and Stormfront's relationship's been retconned, where she's apparently now the love of his life or something, despite being barely mentioned as little more than a fling during the Herogasm episode back in season 3.
Me and this other Soup, Liberty. Man, was she a firecracker.
New Noir got taken out like a chump by the Deep of all people,
I hated that
despite casually being able to tank shots from a minigun literally last season. Plus, he can fly. Why not just bounce the Deep off of something? At least try to get away. So yeah, I'm not super confident Kripke and the gang are gonna stick the landing on this one, but hey, at least we got some cool scenes in between all the setup for the new Vought Rising show.
Guess, yeah.
Like when we saw A-Train finally stand up to Homelander and save the boys while doing his best Quicksilver
in the entire season.
Seriously, being able to statue gunshots and lasers is insane, especially for a guy whose best at one point, while on soup enhancing drugs no less, was about 830 miles an hour. But that just begs the question, exactly how fast was A-Train moving during his final stand against Homelander? Well, let's take a look and find out. Before we get into it though, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And big thanks to everyone who requested this video. Don't forget to leave me comments with new suggestions for videos you want to see in the comments down below. Anyways, let's get into it. So first things first, let's figure out how fast Homelander's heat vision is moving in this scene. We can see by the time A-Train makes it to the Freedom Camp that Homie's heat vision has already made it about halfway to Huey's face, and it takes the rest of the time we see things from A-Train's perspective for the heat vision to finish crossing that distance. Doing some rough estimating, I've clocked the heat vision taking around 26 seconds or so IRL to actually move that distance. But how far is that exactly? Well, generally, your wingspan is about the same as your height, so considering how Homelander's actor, Anthony Starr, is about 5'11", or around 180 centimeters tall according to Google, you might be tempted to say this is about 60 centimeters since he's holding Huey almost at arm's length, but there are a few issues that throw that measurement off, like how Homelander's arm isn't fully extended, his fingers are balled up into a fist, stuff like that. Instead, since he's standing straight up, we'll just use Homie himself as our ruler. which puts the distance between his lasers and Huey at closer to a fifth of a star long, so about 36 centimeters or about 14.2 inches. Plugging those numbers into our usual velocity formula gives us this, and doing that math means that, roughly, Homelander's heat vision was traveling at a speed of about 0.014 meters per second from A-Train's perspective. Now we just need to know how fast
it was moving at the
these
speed of
beams typically
light. I
move.
don't think it
The speed of Homelander's heat vision does tend to vary depending on his mood, how quickly he's dealing with whatever he's doing, yada yada. So it's not like there's a definitive speed for these beams. Keep that in the back of your mind though, I'm going to touch on this in a bit. For now though, I found that one of the best measurable examples of his heat vision comes up in the season 4 finale Assassination Run. When Homelander and Victoria Newman made an appearance on Firecracker's show, Truth Bomb, he tried to get Newman to expose herself as a soup, only to quickly hit her with a blast of heat vision when she wouldn't spill the beans. So how fast was that beam traveling? Well, when he leans forward and lasers her, we can see that he's about 9 of these coffee mugs away from her face. So considering that the average coffee mug is about 3 to 4 inches tall, that puts his heat vision at about 36 inches away from its target at a max distance. I also counted that it took the beams about 0.03 seconds to reach her face, putting Homelander's heat vision speed at about 30.48 meters per second, or a little over 68 miles an hour, or about 109 kilometers an hour. This is about on par with some of the other estimates you can find online regarding some of Homelander's other scenes where he lasers something or someone, and he's usually topping out at about 100 miles an hour or so in those scenes, so I think this 68 mile an hour one tracks here. Doing the math on that means that A-Train is moving at over 2,197 times faster than Homelander's heat vision, which, if we take our previously defined heat vision speed and hit it with our new multiplier, means that A-Train was moving at a whopping 149,808 miles an hour, or 241,093 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 100.
Damn, holy speed.
For comparison, the famous manhole cover that was launched off the ground during the Operation Plumb Bob test back in 1957 was estimated to have reached a speed of around 125,000 miles an hour thanks to the force of the nuclear explosion that propelled it sky high. This means that A-Train was capable of moving at speeds around 1.2 times faster than the second fastest man-made object in recorded history. That is insane.
That's wild.
Now, having said all that, I'm sure somebody out there is like,
A-Train's actually really fast.
Why exactly do you think Homelander's heat vision moves so slowly? Aren't these things lasers or something? Shouldn't they go at light speed? And true, they definitely look like lasers, but there's a few problems that keep them from being actual genuine lasers. First things first, plenty of characters have managed to dodge or react to them pretty easily, like Noir 1, Soldier Boy, Butcher, even Huey, and none of those guys have super speed. Actually, I think all of them move at about average speeds, or have about average human reaction times for the most part, which means literally all of them wouldn't be able to react to or dodge being hit by Homelander if these things were actual lasers. Also, these things don't really act like lasers, since they're shown as being capable of pushing things around and blasting through solid matter, making them really more like a heated plasma or something like that,
it's
rather
like
than
plasma.
like a real laser. But for the sake of argument though, let's assume these things really are supposed to be lasers, meaning A-Train was moving faster than light in this scene. So how fast would he be moving in that case? Well, if we assume Homelander's heat vision moves at laser speeds, meaning the speed of light at over 299 million meters per second, then that means A-Train is moving over 21 billion times faster than Homelander's heat vision, or at speeds of over 1.4 trillion miles an hour, over 2.2 trillion kilometers an hour, or about Mach 1.9 billion.
Damn.
Seriously, that is ridiculous. And as much as I hate to say it, that would mean that A-Train easily smokes lots of speedsters that we've seen on screen over the years, like Quicksilver, or even The Flash. Of course, that last one's not really much of an accomplishment.
Anything?
I searched the whole building, she's gone.
But take your wins where you can, right? Like I said though, I don't think these are actually supposed to be lasers though, so it's more likely that A-Train's proper quote-unquote top speed in this scene is somewhere around the Mach 195 number I mentioned earlier. Either way, I'm guessing based on this that I'll probably have to go back and take another look at that fight with Starlight, see if there's any adjustments we need to make in the math for that one, depending on whether or not she's actually firing off light, but that's a video for another time. But anyways guys, that's how fast A-Train was running in the 5th and final season of The Boys. If you all like this video, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And as always, let me know what other videos you all want to see by leaving me a comment. Speaking of, thanks again to everyone who requested this video. I'm sorry it took me so long, but I really do read all of your comments with suggestions for new videos, and I appreciate all of you guys sticking with me in the channel, keeping up with the new videos and all that, so big thanks to all of you watching right now.
Go show this guy some support.
You are the real heroes.
But with that, I will see you all next time.
Alright. Okay, so that was the reaction. I did not expect A-Train to be moving at those speeds. I thought A-Train was like moving at least at like hypersonic speeds. That's what it seemed like to me. But like Mach 143,000, holy speed buff, bro. Like Dude, he went from moving, like his top speed was Mach 1.3. That's like the recorded speed. Oh no, the recorded one's actually when he was moving like 371 meters per second. And that's like, you know, faster than the speed of sound. But like he's able to move like over 1,000 miles per hour. At least that's what the announcer said. So like you could say like Mach 1.3. But he went from moving at those speeds to that. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that's an insane speed buff, bro. I mean, dude, it was his last moment, like, and he went out like a G, bro. Let him have it. Definitely had like the best character arc, redemption. I really loved A-Train as a character. He's the most consistent character in the series. And yeah, I'm gonna miss him very much. I'm gonna miss the iconic speed sound that he creates whenever he runs off the vroom. Like, I'm gonna miss that so much. And I don't know why they gave that to Mr. Marathon. Like, that felt so weird because I'm only used to hearing A-Train having that sound. If you enjoy the reaction, make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.